Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a serious look at where your skills with Airbyte can actually lead you, professionally, I mean. We're basing this on a piece called Airbyte, Career Paths and Growth Opportunities. It was originally, about 8 or 9 minutes long?
Sounds about right.
And our mission today, really unpack what this source is telling us about, the kind of career trajectory you can build around getting good at Airbyte.
Yeah, and it's a really relevant topic right now because, as this piece highlights, Airbyte has sort of shifted, hasn't it?
How so?
Well, it's moved beyond just being like a handy tool for maybe smaller tasks. Companies are increasingly seeing it as a critical core part of the modern data stack.
Right.
And that's across the board, startups, enterprises, consultancies. They're handling really mission-critical data with it now.
Exactly. So it's not just about setting up a basic connector anymore, is it?
Not at all.
This material suggests that becoming really proficient, properly skilled in Airbyte, it means you become more of a strategic asset. And how data actually moves through an organization.
That's the key takeaway.
But the big question the source gets into is, what does that growth path actually look like? How do you go from just being a user to being that strategic expert?
Right.
So yeah, this deep dive is all about pulling out those insights, showing where these Airbyte skills can truly take your career.
Let's do it.
Okay, so digging into what this piece lays out, let's maybe start with the data engineer role, working with Airbyte.
Makes sense. That's often the entry point.
Right. You begin with the essentials,
Yeah.
like configuring connectors, keeping the syncs running smoothly,
Yeah.
troubleshooting when things inevitably glitch.
Standard stuff. The foundation.
Exactly, the foundation. But this source argues the real growth, like the move towards senior levels, that starts when you push beyond just maintenance.
Ah, okay. So what does that involve?
It's about things like optimizing pipeline performance, setting up really robust monitoring, understanding the cost implications, which is huge.
Oh, yeah, especially in the cloud. Those costs can sneak up on you.
Totally. And even mentoring others on best practices. That's where the source says the significant growth starts.
That transition is really key, and it opens doors to other paths too, doesn't it? Like platform engineers.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the piece notes for those managing self-hosted Airbyte.
Right, because the expertise needed there shifts quite a bit.
How so?
Well, running Airbyte reliably at scale, say on Kubernetes or maybe automating deployments with Terraform, that's not just basic ops work anymore.
Definitely not.
This piece frames it, and I think this is accurate, as moving into like SRE level responsibilities.
SRE, site reliability engineering.
Exactly. You're dealing with state, reliability, automation in a distributed system context. That skill set combining deep Airbyte knowledge with serious infra chops, it's incredibly valuable right now.
Yeah, I can see that. Super high demand. And then, for folks maybe aiming higher, like towards architecture or tech lead roles, mastering Airbyte gives you a different kind of credibility, a valuable perspective.
How does that work?
It's about really deeply understanding its capabilities, sure, but also, crucially, its fundamental limits. What can't it do well?
Knowing the boundaries,
Knowing its cost structure inside out and grasping exactly how it fits or maybe doesn't fit within the larger data platform you're designing.
Right, the whole ecosystem view.
This piece really emphasizes how vital that kind of insight is for making those smart strategic architectural calls.
Absolutely. And, this source also points out that beyond just these role evolutions, there are specific areas you can actually specialize in to really deepen that Airbyte expertise.
Oh, right. It calls out a few specific ones, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like the Airbyte CDK. That's the connector development kit.
Exactly. So this is for engineers who are comfortable, building custom data connectors, usually in Python or Java, for when an off-the-shelf one just doesn't cut it.
That's a serious skill. Then there's focusing on infrastructure ops.
Yep. Specifically for the self-hosted deployments. That involves tackling the real complexities of scaling for performance, making sure it's secure, reliable.
Got it. And the last one was strategic integration design.
Right. This is more about the skill of expertly weaving Airbyte together with the other essential tools in the stack.
Like DBT.
Like DBT for transformations, or your cloud data warehouse, Snowflake, BigQuery, whatever. Plus observability platforms to, keep track of everything and understand lineage, making it all work together smoothly.
What I found powerful here is how this material frames it. It doesn't just see Airbyte as like a stepping stone you use for a bit and move on.
No, not at all.
It really positions it as a potential launch pad for these much more advanced specialized roles we've just talked about.
A launch pad, I like that. So, okay, How do you actually, turn these insights into action in the real world?
Good question. The source gives some practical advice there. For people hiring or managing data teams, it's just being conscious about giving engineers projects that go beyond just the routine maintenance stuff.
Like what?
Encourage them to actually optimize flows, to really own the monitoring and reliability aspects, to build new capabilities, not just fix things when they break. That's how you grow that talent internally.
Makes sense. You got to give people room to grow into those bigger responsibilities.
Exactly. And if you're an engineer yourself, the advice is pretty clear. Be proactive. Constantly ask, okay, what's the next level here with Airbyte?
Right. Don't just wait to be told.
Can you maybe take on designing or even implementing a self-hosted setup? Could you build that needed custom connector using the CDK?
Or even just explaining why it's configured the way it is.
Yes. Explaining the configuration not just technically, but linking it back to the broader business goals, maybe to non-technical stakeholders. That shows strategic understanding.
And another major theme that comes through is pairing that Airbyte knowledge with other skills, right? That seems crucial.
Totally. The source hammers this point home. You need strong DBT expertise alongside it. Robust SQL skills, obviously.
A Python proficiency, too, for scripting development.
And that solid grasp of cloud infrastructure we talked about. AWS, GCP, Azure, whatever your company uses.
It's that combination, that blend of skills that really prepares you for those senior data engineer, platform engineer, or data architect roles, the ones requiring that holistic view.
So bringing it all together, the core message we're pulling from this source is pretty compelling, I think.
Yeah.
Airbyte, when you really get under the hood and apply it strategically, it's presented here as a potentially significant career catalyst in the whole data field.
Yeah, what I find genuinely fascinating about this is how a tool that, let's be honest, many people might first encounter for fairly straightforward ETL or ELT tasks.
Right, just moving data from A to B.
Exactly. But mastering it actually requires expertise that spans core software engineering, pretty complex infrastructure management, and even strategic architectural thinking.
It really shows how interconnected everything is in the modern data stack, doesn't it?
Perfectly. And it highlights the kind of versatile, deep skills that are needed to really excel in this space today.
That's a fantastic summary. And it leaves us, and you listening, with maybe something to chew on, building on that launchpad idea from the source.
Okay.
Instead of just seeing Airbyte as, another piece of software in your toolkit, consider how fundamentally mastering its underlying principles, its integration points, its operational quirks, how that could actually serve as a platform to significantly reshape your entire career path in data.
Interesting framing.
So are you just using the tool day to day, or are you actively trying to leverage it for some profound professional growth, something to think about?
Definitely something to think about.
And with that thought, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Airbyte career paths based on this insightful source material.